Hi, welcome to Maree P. Over the last few weeks, I've been perfecting my easy spelt cinnamon raisin English style muffins. I've been missing these. We can get them in Australia and the UK, but not here in Sweden. Look at these. They're so lovely and soft, and you can eat them fresh straight away. Tomorrow, if they need warming up, we slice them open like this and pop them in the toaster. Delicious with butter and jam or just plain butter. If you'd like to see how to make this, come with me and let's see. So the first step, I need to warm some water. That's 150 grams and 175 grams of milk. I'm using oat milk today. I gently warm that up to about 40 degrees Celsius. And that will take about 5 to 6 minutes. I'll show you how I check the temperature when it comes out. It's kind of like lukewarm to touch if you don't have a thermometer or a heat gun. Then I use 2 types of spelt flour, whole grain, 150 grams. And I'm going to add the yeast, the cinnamon, and the salt. As this is a little bit small, I'm just whisking that so it's combined. I'm just checking the temperature of my milk. It's still a little bit hot, but I've got 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. You can use regular butter or you can use oil. I'm just going to stir that in. That'll help reduce the temperature a bit. I can melt it in there while I'm waiting for it to get below 40 degrees Celsius. So I'm just pouring the liquid into my stand mixer bowl. I find if I take it out of the hot pan, it's quicker to cool it down. It's still not quite at the right temperature, so I'm just cleaning up while I'm waiting. One final check. Yes, thumbs up, it's good to go. So now I'll grab my stand mixer and throw everything in to that. And I'm going to use the dough hook to mix it all together. So first I've got the flour mix, the whole grain with all the yeast and cinnamon and salt. Next I've got my white spelt flour, that's 350 grams. I've got my raisins, 80 grams. And I already poured the liquid in, so I'm just going to knead that for about 5 minutes until it's all smooth and it will come away from the sides. I'll zoom you in so you can have a look at the dough closer up. Next I like to prepare a glass bowl to put the dough in, and I'm just greasing this with a bit of vegan butter. So it looks like it's about ready. All the bowl looks clean, so I'm going to grab it out and pop it into my prepared greased bowl. You could also leave it in your larger stand mixer bowl. I just like this method because then I can check how it's going because I can see through the glass bowl. Then I just drag it from the sides to use some of that greased butter and then try and flip it over. Then I cover it and I wait until it looks like it's doubled in size. I find plastic wrap the best seal. You can use whatever you've got. I'm also getting out this cloth cover I've got. I find if I use this by itself, the top of the dough dries out. That's why I do a double layer of seal. And then I usually leave it for at least 60 minutes. And then I'll come back once it's all risen. Today, my kitchen must have been nice and warm because it only took about 45 minutes for this dough to rise. And look at that. It's so lovely and risen. So now I need to add some rice flour to the bench, and I need to remove that dough to start dividing it into 8 pieces. I've got the scales there. I'm going to try and do it accurate so I can show you how much each one weighs. So just scrape it out with this spatula. Just be gentle. That came out really lovely today. Add a little bit of flour to the top of the dough. Just gently press it out to knock some of that air out, but don't be too rough. Just stretching it into a rough log. I'm just going to weigh the whole amount. And then once I've got that, I'll divide it by 8. So my dough weighed 920 grams, and then I divided that and got 115 grams each. So then I just start cutting it and dividing it and weighing each piece. Sometimes I might be a little bit over or under, but that's okay. Then once it's all divided, then I just grab each piece of dough and stretch it into the center. Sometimes the dough can be quite stretchy and you get a nice pull. And then I just roll it on the bench to try and just smooth it over and just shape it into like a flat disc. And then I keep doing this until each one is done, and I just rest it on the flour. At this stage, you can start covering them with a kitchen towel just so they don't dry out. I'll speed this up for you so you don't have to sit through and watch each one that I do. So you can see here I've popped the kitchen tea towel on top, and now I rest them for 10 minutes covered, and while they're resting I clean up, but I also get my fry pan heated up. I'm using a large fry pan with a little bit of oil. I've also tried them in a non-stick fry pan, but I prefer cooking them in this larger fry pan. I found the non-stick didn't give me a nice finish. But experiment and see what works for you or what you have. So after 10 minutes, I grab each muffin and I place it into some cornmeal. This is traditionally how English muffins are cooked. This helps them not stick to the pan. So I set a timer for 7 minutes, and I found the first side takes about 7 minutes to cook. So I thought I'd put my lid on just to help quicken up the cooking and to steam the inside of the bun. This isn't completely necessary. I've made them both ways, but today I thought I'd already had a practice run where they weren't cooked on the middle, so I wanted to be certain they were cooked in the middle. I just flatten it slightly and then it's ready to flip over, and you'll see it's nice and golden brown, perfect colour. So this is the test one, and once I know I've got the temperature of the pan right, I'll start cooking more at a time. It'll take about 5 minutes on the second side. I tried to cut this one open to show you, but it was way too hot, so you need to let them rest before you cut them open. So then I just started cooking multiples at a time and popping them into the... But I also had an idea as I was filming that I found the polenta wasn't sticking, so I actually sprayed them with some water and then pressed them into the polenta and flattened them slightly. I found this method was really good, so I've added that to my notes on the recipe, and it's a nice little tip. So the muffins are all cooked, and look how they turned out. I'm really happy with how I did it this time. My process that I shared with you during the video of the morning ones, I'll show you again, they didn't really work out perfectly, but they still tasted good. So I rushed these when I first got up. I hadn't had breakfast, hadn't had my coffee. I'd rested my dough overnight, and they came out like that. I wasn't woken up enough. They still tasted great, but they weren't cooked properly on the inside. So when I shared my video again, I made sure I set my timer to 7 minutes. They may take longer. When I do my filming on the little portable induction hob, it actually is a little bit different to when I cook them for us on our induction hob behind here. The little electric one is a little bit slower and a little bit harder to control. So that's why I popped the lid on, but the lid isn't completely necessary. So if you're making them at home, you might need to just test the perfect temperature. I'd say like a medium heat, and then you should be able to control them. But also you can leave the dough overnight and get it out maybe half an hour before, not cold like I tried to do, rest it so it's room temperature, then the dough will be really soft and pliable. We usually store them in a container like this with a lid, room temperature. It's winter here or autumn. No, what is it? It's spring here. I don't know what it is. So I usually rest them on the counter for 2 to 3 days. They usually get eaten by then. If not, if you're not going to eat them that quickly, pop them in the fridge, or if you like, you store them in the freezer for 2 to 3 months. Hope you've enjoyed this recipe. Please let me know in the comments below. Send me an email at sumareep@gmail.com, and give me some recommendations or suggestions on what you'd like to see. I'm happy to try and tailor something exclusive for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hej då from Sweden.